Alrighty, as a woman, when you sit down and go and see a film like that, you think, oh, it's gonna be the fight, it's gonna be a man world. And besides the fact that there are two women, strong character, is that psychological aspect in your character that you capture very well, that lost look is, I don't know where I'm going because this is falling apart.
Right.
And how did you get into the character so much?
I approached this in the same way that I would approach like a $2 million independent film. I really did, as much as this was a big, action-packed science fiction, summer movie. I just thought the character there was just so much there for me to tell, for me to kind of look into the psychology of this man and the idea of the intellectual life versus the emotional life of a human being, and what is it that makes us who we are? How much of the experiences that we've had create the person that we find ourselves to be on any given day? And all those things. They're lovely questions to have kind of thrown up in the air from the script. So, at the start, he's an everyman. He's somebody who's feeling, a moderate amount of discontent. He's not incredibly despondent in his life, but he's just wondering, is this all there is? Which is something that I think most of us can relate to in some way, shape or form. And then he finds out about 10 or 15 minutes in that everything that he thought was real and substantial in his life is not. His marriage, his job, his name, his whole identity is not what he thought it was. It's a fabrication, and the rest of the film is about a man waking up to the possibilities of who he may be, but in the present.
Is that true that you get into the character? You even kind of slept in the apartment?
I did, but more, I'm certainly plucking at straws when you start a film. You're doing anything, whatever needs to be done, whatever books you can read or people you can talk to or skill you can hone or craft you can involve yourself in maybe for the first time ever to get closer to a character or further away from yourself or closer to the imagining of some creation, and that was so staying in Quaid's apartment for one night. It was a really nice apartment. We were doing a camera testing and I thought maybe I'll stay here for a night because we start off the film in the apartment and I wake up in the bed, so maybe I'll stay one night and I'll wake up in the bed and at least I'll have that memory. Just, I don't know if it helped, but I packed up my iPod and a few books and a couple of candles and that was it.
So you're sitting on the Total Recall chair right now, and you have a say on the memory that you can implant in yourself.
Right.
Which is the kind of memory you would like to have that you've never had?
I don't know. Maybe. Did you ever see the proximity flyers? The guys who jump from airplanes with wingsuits?
Yes.
And they fly very close to the mountain? You ever see those guys?
Yes, absolutely.
Crazy boys. Maybe that experience.
You would like to be.
That's something that I will never do. I was saying earlier on, I was saying trip to Antarctica. I think I'll do that someday, maybe, if I get there. But I'll never do. So maybe that, because it looks crazy and so beautiful.
Dix wrote this movie in 1960, and he was such a visionary of a world that we are not even too close to. But how do you think, as he will write today the book, looking at the political scenario that we have, what would be different from your point of view?
If he wrote it now,
today, yeah.
Projecting what would be different in 60 years from now, I mean, he projected now from then because I think he could see then what other people couldn't see then, what was actually then, which is probably the same as now, which is different in some superficial ways, and but governments still betray their people. Law enforcement at times still abuses its power, and the working classes, are not supported in many ways in the way they should. People's liberties are always infringed upon, always have been, and so I don't think it was just as we were talking about as much that he saw what the future was going to be. He certainly, technologically, he did. I mean, that was another aspect of him. Technologically, his ability to be prescient and see what was going to happen and how the advancements were going to present themselves in technology, that was impressive. But I think as far as how the world is run and how people and societies interact with each other, I think he basically just saw stuff that was happening around him at the time that other people maybe didn't see, or picked up on stuff that other people didn't pick up on, and it's the same kind of stuff that's happening today, so it's probably the same kind of stuff that's going to happen in the future.